Hi, everybody. My name is Becca Starr, and I am leading this webinar today. It's 3 ways to simplify and kick butt as an entrepreneur. And I do it a lot myself, so I have lots of experience with this. I'll tell you a little about myself. I am a speaker and a coach. I help women entrepreneurs create really extraordinary lives. And that could mean a lot of different things, but some of the things I truly like to focus on are starting a business, marketing that business, mompreneurs. That's one that I love working with mompreneurs because of my own personal experience. And I use a lot of proven strategies. We do cover self-care quite a bit. That's a big one. And today I really want to talk about 3 of the best ways that we will be able to improve the amount of time that we have, increase that time and improve it. So how you're going to be spending your time after applying these strategies is going to look a lot different than maybe how you're spending your time currently or how you've been spending your time recently or for years now. This is going to give you a different perspective, and I'd like for you to consider that one of the best way that you could actually become very successful is by being prepared. So as I go through these 3 strategies that are going to help you simplify your life and kick butt, I want you to stay with me. And even if it feels like in this moment, like, gosh, this is taking time to do this, the time that it actually takes is going to open up all of your time in the future and make your life more meaningful. It's going to simplify things, and it's so well worth the time it takes. So I want you to make sure you have no distractions. If you have your cell phone out, if you have any distractions around you, do whatever you can to just give yourself this time. It won't be a very long webinar. I believe probably about a half hour we'll be together, maybe 45 minutes. And if you have any questions, there is let's see how to make this a public demo. Messages, chat is private. I should be able to see your messages. This is the first time I'm using this webinar software, but please just jot in if you are hearing me okay, if you can see me okay, if you can see my camera, and let me know your name, where you're from. I am going to jump right in once I start showing my slides. So I just want to make sure that you have a notebook and a pen, and we won't spend a lot of time on writing. I want you to think of the things that first come to mind. Some of the things that just come right up, just write them down. And I encourage you to go back when you receive the link to the recording. You can press pause, take more time with it. And like I said, that time will be so well worth it. And like I said, I'm going to dive right in. So let me share my screen with you. Application window. Close this. Okay. Oops, let's get out of here. Let's do this. Let me go back to... Okay. Thanks for helping me staying focused with me as I'm trying to also figure out exactly. I don't want to miss anything because I'd hate to get to the end of this webinar and then figure out that like I wasn't even sharing my screen or any weird technicalities. So here we go with let's do this. I don't know that I'm actually sharing that yet, so I do want to get back in there. Okay. 3 ways to simplify and kick butt as an entrepreneur. Now, I told you I am a speaker and a coach for women entrepreneurs. And as a coach, there are proven strategies. And these are 3 of the best ways for you to spend your time right now, today, this weekend, to really start off this month and get us through the end of the year so that you're really ending the year really much closer and actualizing, living your vision. Because some of us have a vision and maybe you're not even living it because maybe you're stuck in a full-time job or you have a lot of things going on and it's really hard to figure it out and how to work it all in. And since I've been applying these strategies, it has been super helpful for me and I see a big, big difference. And I will also say it's not it's not a destination. This is a journey. But once we start taking steps in this direction, you will see changes immediately, and then those changes grow, and you hit bumps in the road, and you just go back to the 3 simple steps, and you'll be able to move forward some more because it's ever changing, ever evolving. Our lives and our responsibilities and things come up, and so I want us to just use these moving forward and get us closer and closer and closer to just making our lives bigger and doing what we love more. Whoops, how am I all the way at the end? Oh, let me see what's going on here. I just have to look at my slides real quick. That's not the right slide, so we'll just keep it open like this. So jumping right into the number 1 way, not in any order, but this is the step 1, the number 1 way. They're all equally important, and this is the first step though. Number 1, clarity. Getting very clear on what is meaningful to you. Not to your partner or your kids or your boss or your clients, to you. Take the time to write out your vision, your desires, what you love in life. So, what do you truly enjoy doing? This is important because if you don't have this clarity, then how are you going to know when you're actually doing it? How are you going to have any satisfaction? So, what do you truly enjoy doing? You may not be ready to clarify your goals, and that's okay. You may have some things that pop right into your mind, and just write that down. I encourage you to take the time to do this writing. Even if no matter where you're starting from, you don't have clarity on your goals or you don't think they're realistic, just write down whatever comes to mind. And we'll stop for a moment so you can have a little bit more time with this, but ask the universe, say a prayer for inspiration. If you just, when you watch this again or you do this on your own, set the timer for 10 minutes and do what you have to do to just put pen to paper. You just start writing, 10 minutes, the timer goes off, and you can be done for the day. What it does is it just opens up this channel to really getting you in touch with your higher self, giving you this clarity, knowing what you love. Get super clear on what you want to create. What lifestyle, business, take the time to get clarity on this. Having a vision and a plan will always serve you immensely. So it's a really important first step. It's a crucial first step because we don't know when we're actually doing it. We know when we feel good, but unless you have this vision, you won't even know when you get there. So it's really important to write it down too. I'm a big believer in putting pen to paper. It's been proven to help you reach your goals faster and even better than you can imagine just by writing them down, just jotting stuff down. So I'm going to give you just a moment, write down whatever comes to mind. And I don't want to take too long with this. Like I said, I want you to come back to this and use these in your life moving forward. Okay. You could only have one thing on that list, or you could have 3 or 10 things. You could have a few things on your list by now. But once you have this list of what you love, it's time for the rocking chair test. So the rocking chair test, I want you to imagine that you're 85 years old, you're sitting in a rocking chair. I like to imagine that I'm on this beautiful deck, back porch somewhere in Montana overlooking gorgeous mountains and a sunset and just this epitome of what I believe to be like God's greatness, like only stuff that God can do. And this, to me, it's nature. And think of yourself, close your eyes, imagine yourself sitting in this rocking chair. You're 85 years old, and as you're rocking in your chair, you reflect back over your life. Think about what you wrote down that you love. From this perspective, does this still feel meaningful to you? So even just take a moment to just close your eyes, think of one thing on your list. Does it still feel meaningful to you at 85 years old, rocking in your chair? If it does, think about why does it mean something to you. If it's because it's given you more time to travel, more money in your life to enjoy beautiful things, more time with your family, recognition in this world, you're leaving a legacy, it gives you fulfillment. Think of deeper meanings and why does this feel important to you? So maybe just pick one thing on your list and just ask yourself why. Write down a couple words that come to mind, why it is meaningful to you. If you know why something is important to you, you will always figure out the how. Sometimes we let reality get in the way of our dreams. It happens a lot. That's why so many people aren't living their dreams, because it's not realistic. That's untrue. If you have a vision and it means something to you and you know why it's important, you will be shown the next steps. You will absolutely figure out how to make it happen. I will tell you, I have 2 examples just from this week. One is I want to go on a family trip to Italy next year, in 2018. My husband travels a lot, and we really don't travel together as a family out of the country. I've never taken my kids out of the country. I want to go to Italy. And I posted it on my Facebook group as a challenge. And how can we take one simple step a day to make this happen? And the first day, I've looked into Amalfi, going there, what it's like traveling with kids. I've talked to my in-laws about it because they had mentioned a trip. So very simple, simple, simple. One action a day. And just last night, my husband had said he's actually going to be doing a festival in Europe for 5 weeks, I believe, at some point next year. And he will be in Italy, and we will be going there and having time. And I know if I just keep taking steps, then I could let a million things get in my way about why this might not work out. Oh, he's going to be working, he might only have 3 days. I really wanted to spend like 3 weeks with my family there. None of that is important right now. The only thing that is important is that I do one thing every single day, and There's already been these things that have opened up that show me how possible it is. When I made this, I mean, we're saving for buying property. We're not saving for a trip to Italy. Not that we can't do that as well, but this trip to Italy will happen, and I don't know how, but I don't need to know how. I know why it's so important to me. There's also a foundation I'd like to get started, and it's for teen girls, young women who are at risk, to offer them coaching skills. And I have a name for the foundation and everything. And all I know is I have the vision. I know why it's so important to me. And just yesterday, I had an amazing phone call that I had the goosebumps the whole time I was on the phone. It's not even like I was planning, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I just received some hits like, I should call this person. Or I mentioned it to one person who told me about somebody that actually works with groups and programs working with women at risk and teens and girls. This conversation will be meeting in 2 weeks face to face. It still blows my mind how it happens, like how amazing the universe is. It just brings you exactly what you need to take the next step. So you don't need to know the whole plan sometimes. You just need to know what you want to do, have some clarity, know why it's important, and then start taking small steps. So with all of that, I hope that you have something that you're very clear on and why it's so meaningful to you. And I also want to, before we get into some of these next sections and slides, I want to let you know that at the end of this webinar, I am going to give you some free downloads that will help you so much with all of this. So this next step is getting very clear on what it is that you don't enjoy doing. Is it grocery shopping? Is it cleaning, laundry? Is it bookkeeping, social media for your business? Is it administration work? Are there things you're not actually good at? Is it the design, website stuff? Are there things that you feel like you have to do, but you're either not good at them or you just don't enjoy doing them? So write down all of these things. Anything that pops into your mind. For me, it is definitely cleaning and laundry. And I'll mention this one because it's important. I love being with my kids, but to have a business and to be a full-time stay-at-home mom wasn't working. I cannot do my business. They could not be here right now, and I would be allowed to do this because they require attention and they make a lot of noise, and it's just not realistic. You can't, sometimes I feel like I cannot literally do one other thing while I'm with my kids. And sometimes they're great, but it's like as soon as I start trying to do something that might be important, forget about it. Like all heck breaks loose. So it's not that I don't like being with my kids, but I love being with my business. So I needed to figure out ways to open up some more time in my schedule. And I'm going to get into some of this stuff, but write down all the things you don't enjoy doing. Consider what I just talked about with the kids. Are there any areas or activities you're just not good at? So now this, you may have heard of this saying before. Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're not happy doing something, but then you keep doing it, do you think that you're going to be okay with it someday? Do you think that it's going to allow you to have more time with your business? What is it? So this brings us right into the second strategy, which is time management. I'm going to give you some really great tools, but I want you to understand when we think of our resources, there are some that are unlimited, and then there are some that are limited. For the most part, there's actually not a lot of limited resources except for time. Money, you could always replenish money. You could lose money, you could have money taken away from you, you could literally go bankrupt. You can always replenish it with the right tools. I mean, trust me and look at the stories of people that have done this, but you can always, there's an endless amount of money for you. Whether or not you believe that for yourself and you've had this experience, money is unlimited. And there's many people far less competent than you and far less even deserving. Money is one of these resources that is truly unlimited. Talent, believe it or not, your talents and your gifts are also unlimited. You just need to tap into them more. You need to recognize the ones that you have and start using them more, but also you will amaze yourself at how much you have in your potential and your talent. But time, once you use time, it can never be replenished. And that's kind of a scary thought, but once we use any time, it's gone. And our time here on earth is limited. So it's a big thought, but I want you to just understand that because it can really help you in realizing how you are spending your time. So how can you spend your time doing what's most meaningful to you? It's what we want to try to do. So if you're living a life doing things you love, how might that look? Oops, it's a little, let's change that. Why don't we just take that out? Are you spending more time with friends? Or are you with your kids more, your loved ones? Are you traveling more? Are you making an impact on this world? Are you being of service to your community through your business? So take a minute and just, if you want to write anything down with that one, but just imagine how your life looks like when you are doing more of the things that you love. Now I want you to look at all those activities that you don't love, but that you keep doing day after day, week after week. And why? Because you have to? I'm here to tell you, you do not. No matter what it is, you don't. And it's a choice. If you continue to keep doing that, I want you to understand that it's a choice. So if you don't enjoy doing it, maybe consider there's something about it that you really do enjoy doing it. So maybe just shift your perspective so it just feels better. I want you to get honest with yourself, though, because the first question is, why is this something that you need to do? Make sure that how you're spending this resource of time that we have, this very limited resource, why is it something that you need to do? There are things that must be done. There's no way around it. Especially if you're a mom and with kids, there's things that need to be done. There's things with our business. There's not much with our business that we actually need to be doing, but you do have to step back and get like the bigger picture on it because we're going to talk about some of that stuff. And now ask yourself, why is this something that you need to do? And while we're talking about time management, and believe me, I have lots of experience with this, but we're going to talk about scrolling. Scrolling is the biggest time waster and won't bring meaning to a life well lived when we're sitting in those rocking chairs. When we think back over our lives at 85 years old, are we going to look at those times spent scrolling? When we wake up, scrolling. When we go to bed, scrolling. When we're in the bathroom, scrolling. When we are doing just about anything, scrolling. Are we going to be fulfilled by those moments? So I had to throw this one in there because if we're going to get better at our time, we really want to know what's meaningful to us and be spending lots more of our time doing those things. So here's some management ideas for you. If there were things that you wrote down as far as things around the house that might need to be done, grocery shopping, you need to do grocery shopping. If you're a Prime member on Amazon, they actually have Prime now. I'm amazed at how many people don't know about this. It's not an extra charge for this service. You only have to pay the driver a tip, and it just is part of your shopping order. And they use Sprouts, and they have their own Amazon groceries and Bristol Farms. They just bought Whole Foods. And they have another store on there. Literally in 2 hours, food drops down from the sky and comes to your door. It's amazing. And you don't have to pay any extra for this. And most people I know are already Prime members, but they don't know about this. So I want to just let you know that that's what I use. Saves me a lot of time. And once you put in an order, it saves all of your orders, and you can just shop past purchases and just click off what you want. It is such an awesome way to maximize your time as far as going to the grocery store, even cleaning, and having somebody come in to clean your home once a week, every other week, once a month. Whether or not you feel like cleaning is important, your surroundings affect who you are. Your appearance affects who you are. So I want you to just think about, if you do love to have a clean home and you're doing it all the time, consider the time that you're spending on that. Is that what you're actually trying to put out there in this world? And if there's any objections that come up to that, I can't afford a housekeeper, I can't afford that. Think about the money you might spend on Amazon or online shopping or on other things that don't mean as much and won't open up your world as much. So consider hiring somebody at some consistency. There are so many people that will work on different budgets. And there's somebody that might just come in. If you put an ad on Craigslist, I wanted somebody to come in just to do our floors, because the floors, having wood floors with 2 little kids and a dog, I mean, just to do the floors is a lot. And, I could sweep them every day, but I mean, it just requires I don't want to do what it requires to keep my floors clean, but it's an important thing to me and it makes me feel better. And so I put an ad on Craigslist and just asked people if they were interested in doing that, what their rates were. I got a huge range of things, and there's something for every budget. Laundry, also maybe somebody that comes to do your cleaning. There's apps. Washio is an app on your phone. You could sign up for that. I found it to be very reasonably priced. Childcare, pet care, you can hire a babysitter, a dog walker. I want you to just think about all the things that you do have to do that must be done, but potentially there are other ways to manage those things. Bookkeeping, marketing, administration, social media, these are all things that someone else can do for you. You can streamline processes. So if you are not up on the digital age of marketing and funnels and automatic emails and automation, you can automate so much. And I'll put this on my website, a list of resources of the platforms or the software that I like best to use. So you should have a website. You should have a process for streamlining things, automate things, delegate things, get a virtual assistant. Again, there's a wide range of budgets for that. Fiverr, Upwork, Care.com, look into each of these, because if there's things on your list that you don't enjoy doing, that you're not good at doing, but you have to if you want to be successful, look into these things, because they're going to not just save you time, they're going to save you sanity, they're going to open up your world. They are truly going to change the way you're living your life. So I will, again, there will be a printable or something on my website I give you for some resources, a list of resources. Now I want you to come back to that list of what you love, what's well worth your time while you're here on earth. when you are doing those things because you've chosen to live a meaningful life, because you're choosing to do these activities and you do love these activities, be in that time 100%. So again, the scrolling, if you're with your kids, but you know you love being with your kids and doing what you're doing, no more scrolling, I mean, that takes you out of the present moment. Getting comfortable, just get comfortable with putting your phone away, turning off distractions, and being present so that you're truly feeling the joy in life. You can laugh more, love more, be more. And this concept of just being present to where you are is foreign to a lot of adults and, people right now because of the whole phone age and the technical digital age. But to be able to be free of distractions and be in the moment, like be with your loved ones, if you're traveling, be there. It's something, I mean, I am sharing because I know it's something I always have to be reminded of. I love to take pictures, and what I've been doing lately is taking pictures maybe through the week, and sometimes 3 weeks go by, but on the iPhone, they have a thing of memories, and sometimes I just click on it, and it's the last 3 weeks of snippets, and I don't know how they put together such awesome clips of things, but they add in a little videos, and it has music to it, and I've done a couple of them, and it's just such a great way, instead of taking the pictures, going right on Facebook, sharing things, and or texting things to my family, I can just let it go. Maybe snap the picture, let it go, and then in a week or 3 weeks, I just put it in a little slideshow thing. It's the coolest thing I have discovered, and also I've realized has saved me like all that little time. So there are definitely all of these ways to maximize your freedom from things and be present. And so I want you to make that choice. Be present in what you're doing. These are the times that are going to replenish you. They're going to boost your creativity. I went to Missouri a few weeks ago with the kids. My husband was performing there, and we had a week solid of vacation. He didn't have to leave for sound check until about 7 o'clock or something. And we had one full week of family time. There was a part of me that felt nervous. Like, I don't want to step away from my business so much. It's hard to let go of things. And yet every time that I do, because I travel a lot, we go back east, every single time I do, especially when I'm feeling like a little, like the pull and the tie to what I think I should be doing, every single time I came back from that trip from Missouri with a whole new perspective, and it just gave me some space and made me more creative. So it really does. It replenishes you, and it gives you a boost in what to do next, like where you're going next. If you have one foot in the happy places and one hand on your phone, you'll never get to experience the pure joy of life. So I'll let that one go for now, but I really wanted to share that with you. So what should you be doing with your time? Entrepreneur actions. Planning. Like I said at the beginning of this webinar, planning is huge. So the time that you spend to plan is going to save you so much time in the future, but also it's going to give you more confidence. You're going to feel prepared, and preparation is absolutely one of the qualities to have as a successful entrepreneur. Now, even if you just spend time planning 15 minutes a day, this is huge. So 15 minutes a day planning. And that's it sometimes. If you do it every day, you don't want to be doing any planning for even longer. So just knowing, what are you going to do today? How are you going to spend your time with your business? And how can you most use that time? For me, I find that marketing is really important. You do want to be making connections. You could be working with your clients. Obviously, that's your action as an entrepreneur, is doing what you love to do. So providing the service that you provide, and then marketing is connecting with another person and picking up the phone, telling somebody about what you're doing, or scheduling, even if it's if you're scaling your business and you want to teach other professionals how to do what you're doing, or you're just taking actions that involve other people. So you're getting out of your comfort zone. That's huge. Your clients' time, that's going to be a big one, and make sure you're very efficient with your time with your clients, because if you want to scale and you want to have a bigger business, you need to be really good about how much time you're spending, and how it should be quality, not quantity. Decluttering is a big one, because if we don't declutter, it takes up space, which takes up time and energy. So decluttering just 15 minutes a day. Again, set your timer, declutter 15 minutes a day, and you'll see big results. So you may not have any clutter. I say this because I do. And if I just take a 15-minute frame of time each day, it's been revolutionary. So I also would like you to get in the habit of every day calling your mentor. There are so many brilliant people in this world. So you don't need to just have one. You should have a business coach. You should have a mentor. You should have people that you can call on, maybe meet once a week to talk to them, ask them their advice, ask them how they're doing it. Talk to people, all of the brilliant people who are actually doing what you want to be doing. Stay connected with them. That's a great way to spend your time as an entrepreneur. So all those connections are just going to help you so very much. If you want to take a moment, just write down things that come to mind for any of these actions or strategies that I've talked about so far. Okay. Oops, this says number 2. We're going to change that right now. So the third way to simplify and kick butt as an entrepreneur, self-care. When you believe in your value, you'll see value reflected back to you in your reality, including in your bank account. Susan Ferraro is a law of attraction expert, and I heard that, and I already know the truth in that, and I just found it to be so wonderful to hear it, and I wanted to share it with you, because self-care, if we are busy, we got a ton of things going on, then we've got to take care of ourselves. Some of these ways that we could take care of ourselves is making sure we take some time to get in the right mindset. When you start your day or you start your work time, just get clear. Make sure you're in a positive, powerful mindset. Meditation is super helpful. Put the oxygen mask on yourself. So I have a great experience with that when I had my son Xander about 4 years ago. There's a lot to do to take care of a newborn baby. There's not a lot of time because they need you 24/7 for all of their needs. And one of the things that I quickly made sure of is that I would make my breakfast. I'd make a healthy breakfast every single morning. And that, to me, in my head, if my house was a mess or everything that I thought needed to be done was happening around me, I just kept hearing that in my head. Put the oxygen mask on yourself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. So whatever that means to you. Do you need spiritual food? We have to be fed spiritually. Healthy eating, exercise, nurturing yourself, loving thoughts, and loving self-talk. I love to get massages. Massages to me just are a great way to hit a reset button and replenish me and take care of myself. Baths are another awesome thing I love doing, and light a candle when you take that bath. Keep it simple if you have to, but just do these things. Try to make sure that you are prioritizing your self-care. Social time, huge. Friends, time to laugh and be with people that you love. Be social. Let go of everything. And if you don't have these, relationships that foster your well-being, then find more. Get more. Learning. Are you developing your mind? Are you learning? Are you getting better at your skill or what it is that you want to do? Are you learning anything that you love? Learn how to do it. If you want to learn how to skydive, that's awesome. If you want to do that, just take the time to do the learning. And if we don't use it, we lose it. So these are all ways to take really good care of yourself. And I want to really tie it back again to your self-worth and how that saying, that Susan Ferraro, that quote, when you believe in your value, you'll see value reflected back to you in your reality. Your reality will become more valuable, including in your bank account. So your self-worth. Let's talk about some tips for that. You need to put your needs first. If you don't, no one else will. Affirmations, I like to call these personal power statements. So your self-talk, again, like if you have an area of challenge, then I want you to have a contrary statement. So if I feel like, nobody cares about what I do for work or anything, that affirmation for me might be, I am a badass entrepreneur that helps so many women in a really meaningful way. So that works for me. And so whatever it is where you might need help with it, make sure that you have a contrary power statement that if you find yourself going down that rabbit hole, you can pull out your power statement. Your belief in yourself, belief in the goodness of the universe. Being authentic is huge. So again, you put your needs first because nobody else will. You be authentic because nobody else can be you. Trust your instincts. As you do these types of, if you live your life this way, then these things grow stronger and you're actually helping others even more by just being authentic, being who you are and trusting your instincts. Daily routines are very helpful. The more I have found that having structure actually does give me more freedom. So the idea of decluttering for 15 minutes, the idea of starting with a prayer or a meditation before I start my work day, or there was something else I was just thinking of with routines. Oh, sometimes I hate to make some of the calls that I have to make, meaning like to a health insurance company or something to do with like the real practical stuff of running a household or having children. So what I do before I start my work day, because if I start my work day, I will spend all my time doing that and then no time doing, all of a sudden I get to the end of my work day, I got to go pick up my kid, and I've never done it. I didn't get those things that really needed to be done. So I spend 10 minutes to make those phone calls or just check something that has to be done. I check it off the list. So that's just a way that I kind of work that into a routine, because that stuff actually does make me feel good once it's done. And the time it takes to like kind of dread or procrastinate, it's just, that eats up away at our self-worth. So commitment to your dreams and desires. Be committed to those visions. Know your value and share it with others. Forgiveness is a really big one. I have found that forgiveness gives me so many gifts that it doesn't matter what's happened or about the other person. And forgiveness isn't just it's not the destination again. It's the process. You could forgive somebody, but then they're still in your lives. And say if it's with a parent or a family member, they're always going to be in your lives. Or if it's somebody that you never see again, but it comes back up for you, that forgiveness, forgiving the other person or praying for the other person, it gives you freedom. It truly, truly does. And there was something I had heard a really long time ago, like pray for the other person. Like if you have a resentment, pray for them. And even if you have to say, God bless that SOB. God, please be with that SOB. Like, if that's how you're starting, that's awesome, but it will always work towards more forgiveness, which is freedom, and it is your self-worth. That's what you're actually doing it for. Nobody else, for yourself. And sharing your greatness with others. We talked about it when I mentioned the marketing. We just talked about it in the self-worth. Your greatness must be shared with others. Tell people how you add value to their life and to the people that they care about. So you could do what you do as a business or as a service, and if nobody even knows about it, it's not going to make you that successful. So this is a really, really big one. An abundance is your commitment. If you want abundance in your life, your commitment to putting you first is the action of creating value. You're telling the universe, I am valuable, I am worth it, and I do deserve greatness. So the 3 ways we'll review are clarity, time management, and self-care. So I hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed this presentation, and I will be giving you a link to some free printables, which I'd like to share with you, and it will give you some checklists and some of the things that I shared in here. You'll be able to have access to those. I have to check. I'm going to give you a link to the website. I just have to make sure that they're on there. So if it's not live, I will send you an email once they are all loaded and accessible. If you'd like to work with me, I, again, work with women, mainly women entrepreneurs. I can help you create an extraordinary life, and my website and to access booking an appointment with me or a free discovery session is beccastar.com/coaching. So the free printables, I will give you the link right now, is beccastar.com/3 ways. And there will be a couple printables on there, but I do need to check that link. So just make sure you'll get an email from me that they are up and active. And I really want to end with the beautiful Louise Hay. As many of you might know, she passed away this week, passed away peacefully, which of course is just no surprise because of the beautiful life that she led. I love some of the highlights of her career. She wrote her first book at 50 years old. She's helped millions of people through her publishing house. She's one of the founders of the self-improvement movement, which you would think has been around forever, but that term wasn't even coined until sometime in her life, which was probably like 30-something years ago, 40 years ago. And she was considered one of these founders of it, which I think we all kind of take this self-improvement stuff for granted, but it took somebody to create this. It took people to work together for a higher goal, a higher purpose. She was a successful author, publisher, speaker, and at 81, she released her first film. And aside from loving her and the effect her work has had on my own life, her whole principle behind everything, the cure for everything, was self-love. And I find that to be truly a beautiful, beautiful aligned statement, because with self-love, we can do all things. All things are possible. We put ourselves first, and we put the clarity of our vision first. We maximize our time first, and we take care of ourselves. That helps us to take care of everybody else. That helps our bodies to stay healthy. So we can do so much more. And so Louise Hay, rest in peace. She's such a beautiful, beautiful woman. I want to share with you my private Facebook group. If you're not already on it, it's a great group. It's a private group. You can just search Your Life Designed. It will come up as a group, and just click to join. And again, if you want to work with me, beccastar.com/coaching. So here we go. Back to this. And I hope that you all got a ton out of this. I hope that if you have any questions or you have any ideas that you want to share and get a little support or coaching with, just share those with me and let me know how I can help you further if you get stuck on any of these points. And definitely join the private Facebook group, and we're all there to support you. So thanks so much, and have a wonderful, beautiful day.